Visit Pokemon Card Market and buy Pokemon cards from base set up to latest evolution set with best prices, secured system and easy handling. Only for European players. How's it going, guys? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at a deck for the expanded format. And this is the Seismitoad-EX featuring the Decidueye-GX and Giratina, a promo version that can actually block break evolutions from dealing damage to your Pokemons in play. So, pretty quick and simple explanation for this deck. So, the main focus and main attacker is going to be Seismitoad with the Quaking Punch, and of course, backup splash damage will be the Decidueye-GX with the Feather Arrow. And of course, maybe Razor Leaf and Hall of Hunt GX, maybe just once or twice. Overall, I really like it. It's still in, I should say, beta version because I didn't put too much effort to build this deck. So as you can see, I'm not running a single hammer, not even a Teal for a Grunt, not even a Water Energy, so I can just maybe try to attack with my Grenade Hammers, only one Grass Energy. So I'm still testing this deck, but I was looking forward to publish it earlier with my subscribers, just because I really like to play expanded format, and I think this is one pretty interesting deck to play in expanded format. So Seismitoad is main attack with a Quaking Punch. And with a Fighting Fury belt, Seismitoad can attack for 40 and prevent opponent from playing the item cards. On the other side, if we can prevent our opponent from being able to play item cards, we can also have Giratina with the Devour Light in play, and that Giratina can simply prevent each break evolutions from using their abilities, and also abilities from the previously evolution Pokemons, which means if I have Giratina in play, I can simply ignore John Water Shurikens, I can simply ignore Greninja Break from being able to attack, I can simply ignore Trevenant Break, Sound Fear, so I don't need to worry too much about them. On the other side, the Decidueye-GX with 240 HP and Feather Arrow allows me to, 1 per turn, putting 2 damage counters on one of my opponent Pokemon in play. So if I have 3 Decidueyes in play, I can put 6 damage counters and attack for 40 with a Quaking Punch, which can be 100 per turn. In my opinion, pretty cool and pretty interesting to play. And also 2 Shaymis for the setup, just here, so we can set up the Decidueyes and Seismitoads, of course, in place. So 17 Pokemon, 38 trainer cards, and 5 energies in total. So from the item cards, I decided to go with 2 copies of Bell Compressor. Bell Compressor is a very good card because simply with a Bell Compressor in expanded format, we can easily discard Rowlet, Dartrix, or Decidueye and simply pick them with Revitalizer and play without too many problems. Also with Battle Compressor I can discard any supporter card that I really need and simply with the VE Seeker use that supporter the same turn or actually a few turns later when I will need them. 2 copies of Level Ball because with the Level Ball I can grab Rowlet and Dartrix, important to set up. 2 copies of Revitalizer mentioned earlier, so I can simply grab Grass Pokemon from discard pile and put it in play. Of course, first in my hand and then in play. 1 copy of Special Charge because I'm playing just 4 copies of Double Course Energies, and if my opponent can somehow discard my Double Course Energies, Special Charge can be very important to recycle them back. 4 Trainers Mails, Ultra Balls, and VE Seeker for best consistency, especially with 4 copies of Force of the Giant Plant, so I can have that turn 1, at least 1 Decidueye-GX in play if it's somehow possible. Support line is a little bit different than the standard format, of course, more different tech supporter cards. So for example, I'm running 1 AZ because with the AZ I can simply scoop one of my Pokemon from play, so it can be Shaymin, it can be the Decidueye, it can be Seismitoad. Y is also pretty cool, scooping up your Decidueye, especially if you have Force of the Giant Plant in play. Well, simply from one reason, because if you set up the Decidueye and you use Feather Arrow, you can just AZ him back in your hand and then just be able to use another Feather Arrow for 2 more damage counters. But of course, it can be good just to scoop Seismitoad back in your hand with couple damage counters on him, so you can just prevent your opponent from being able to take a knockout. Hex Maniac, well, you know, it's expanded format. Hex Maniac always good to have, at least against item lock decks. Double Lysandre, because I still think Double Lysandre makes a lot of sense in this deck, because Seismitoad can only attack for 40, and with preventing our opponent from being able to play Float Storms or Switches or VE Seeker for Olympia, or even Escape Ropes, we can simply Lysandre something with higher treat cost, Quaking Punch for 30 or 40, and on the other side just spreading damage counters with the Feather Arrow to bench the Pokemons until we manage to get double or triple knockout in single turn. 2 copies of N, 1 Olympia for the Switch, because Seismitoad is 3 retreat cost, also the Decidueye also have a 2 retreat cost. That's the reason why I'm running Olympia, because I'm not running any Switch, Escape Rope, or a Floatstone. Central Lady, because simply we can heal 6 damage counters and all special conditions from Seismitoad can be sometimes very important, same as 4 copies of Professor Juniper. It's expanded format, so I still prefer Juniper over Sycamore expanded. But overall, my favorite supporter card is definitely Professor Juniper. 1 copy of Xerosic, so yeah, only Xerosic can actually scrap a tool or special energy. Why Xerosic? Because sometimes if we are gonna face Vileplume decks, probably those Vileplume decks are gonna be with the Floatstone, so we can simply first Xerosic Floatstone from the Vileplume and then simply Lysandre that Vileplume in the active position and then just Quaking Punch for like 3, 4, 5 turns before we take the knockout against Vileplume, and simply goes with the Decidueye Feather Arrow. Only problem in Expanded, of course, is AZ, and advantage of the AZ, because you can simply scoop your Vileplume from play with the AZ and again put it back on the bench, so that's going to be a problem. But overall, I don't have Starling Megaphone because I decided to go with 1 copy of Xerosic, because Xerosic can also be a single tool card for my opponent Pokemon or special energy card. 2 copies of Fighting Fury Belt for extra 40 and 10 HP, for extra 40 HP and 10 damage. 5 energies, 4 of them are going to be double Course Energy, and only 1 Grass Energy. Well, just in case if I find myself in position that I need to use Razor Leaf or even Hall of Hunt GX. Overall, I think pretty cool deck to play. Not top competitive, but still can be competitive in some specters of the game. So if you're looking for any of these cards, you can find them on ccgcastle.com with TCG Center 5 code. You can also get 5% discount in purchase, so you can find all instructions in my video description. Also, if you're looking to trade your old bulk, you can trade 1400. You can trade 1,400 cards in bulk for exchange in one of those Sun Moon booster boxes. So yeah, you should definitely do that if you don't need your bulk, and if you're looking for fresh cards, factory sealed from the latest set. So my advice is definitely to do that. So let's do some game tests so you can actually see the Decidueye and Seismitoad in action. So see you in the game. Alright, so I'm starting with the Seismitoad versus Shaymin. So I can say nice start for me because I have Level Ball and I can take my second Rowlet and put it onto bench. Alright, 2 Revitalizers, 2 Battle Compressors, V-Seekers, AZs. Okay, all double Course Energies are here, none of them are prized. That's always great. So Trainers Mail maybe for... I think I can grab one of my AZs and simply Ultra Ball. It can be for... 1 more Rowlet? Really? Why not? I can have 3 Rowlets. Turn 1 in play. Shaymin set up for 5 before I go with my Juniper for 7. Okay, there is Forest of the John Plant, 1 Fighting Fury Belt, and Sycamore for 7. So I also have Olympia in my discard pile, which is very important. There is gonna be another Seismitoad, which means that I don't want to play him. I simply want Ultra Ball, something like Central Lady, and tell you what, I'm gonna also throw out my Seismitoad here. And it's gonna be for Shaymin-EX, more than that, Ultra Ball, for one of my Dartrix. Let's do this. So Dartrix number 1 in play. Then I'm gonna attach my double Course Energy and play my setup for 6. Yeah, I decide to attach that double Course Energy, who cares? Well, there is Dartrix number 2. Trainer's Mail, maybe I can find Revitalizer, maybe not, maybe just a Xerosic. I think I'm gonna grab that Ultra Ball. So, the Decidueye number 1. 2 damage counters with that Feather Arrow to his Shaymin. After that, I'm gonna Battle Compressor, and I'm gonna Battle Compressor This Dartrix is forced to the Giant Plant. And also Lysandre, simply because I can take it next turn. And for now, I think I'm gonna pass my turn. I didn't even want to play my Seeker yet because I don't know what my opponent will play. Also, that energy attachment, yeah, it was a little bit risky. Oh, Trevenant. I knew it's a Trevenant. Okay, and there we go with the N. So I'm gonna need my Giratina. I never watched loading screen because if I watch loading screen, then I feel like I can cheat because I can simply see what my opponent can play and what he have, what type of the deck he plays. So there's one star with Megaphone, which means he can scrap my Fighting Fury Belt, and Level Ball is gonna be for another Phantom, and then simply he can just use Ascension and Evolve. Good thing for me is that I can also attack with my Seismitoad for like 30, plus 20 more for that Decidueye is gonna be 50. And also I can item lock him, so there we go. I mean, I have Hex Maniac, and probably I'm gonna use advantage of that Hex Maniac. First I'm gonna go with my Feather Arrow. Yeah, why not? Let's go with the Hex Maniac. And Battle Compressor. So I'm gonna discard that, the Decidueye, and I'm also gonna discard Revitalizer. I'm not gonna need Revitalizer anymore. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. So Revitalizer, Dartrix, and another Decidueye. Ultra Ball, not worth to play. Energy, not worth to attach. So this is just gonna be Quaking Punch. This is just gonna be a Quaking Punch. So he's down to like 60 HP left. Next turn I can go for like 70. And yeah, his Trevenant is in a very bad position. I wish I had my Giratina on the bench because right now the Trevenant break would not be able to do nothing. Simply I don't have, so yeah. But never mind. Never mind, we are still here. Next turn, 2 Feather Arrows can also go maybe to Jirachi, maybe to Shaymin. It really depends if my opponent will even decide to put... Oh, Lysandre. Okay, to my Decidueye. Luckily I have this Grass Energy sitting in my hand, which means I can just use my Hollow Hunt GX, grab any 3 cards from my discard pile and bring them back into my hand. So I'm gonna grab Hex Maniac, I'm gonna grab Lysandre, I'm gonna grab Olympia, of course. So 3 different supporter cards, 3 different options for me. Plus I can also... Oh, I completely forget use my Feather Arrows because I was too hyped to use them. But never mind. Never mind. Really never mind. Probably he's gonna Jirachi into N. I can see something like that. Yeah, I should put 2 damage counters to his Trevenant break, but never mind. Next turn I can simply knock him out for like a 90. Also something like a Flare Grunt, to be honest, can be a good option. Oh, he decides to go for the Colorless. Yeah, Flare Grunt would make also a lot of sense, but since I have Lysandre, I have option to Lysandre one of his Pokemons on the bench. So if he puts another Phantom on the bench, I can also have a turn of the trainer cards with my Lysandre. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna spread 2 damage counters times 2 to his Trevenant, and I'm gonna use just a Lysandre to knock out his Shaymin with my Hollow Hunt for 90. Actually, with the Razor Leaf for 90. And that's gonna be 2 prize cards for me, and maybe I can even pull another Decidueye. Who knows, so I can have 6 damage counters per turn. Of course, he's also maybe looking forward to play that Wobbuffet. So there we go with the Silent Fear. 3 damage counters to all of my I mean, I can get rid of the item block this turn. Energy is gonna be attached. That's for sure. But let me see something. I can also item lock my opponent, which can be even harder for him if I use my feeder arrow. 50, 70, 90, 120. Not good in my opinion. Not good in my opinion. 90 and 50 is 140, so I'm just gonna Nax out right now his Trevenant with my Decidueye, and then next turn I will see what I'm gonna play. So let's just use that Razor Leaf right now for 90. I'm really hoping for another GX, and there we go, so 3 of 3. Alright, 6 damage counters per turn, how broken is that? Well, as long as I have that Lysandre is gonna be broken. So there is one Mystery Energy, of course he can have it for a treat with it, or he can just simply stays forever in the front with his Wobbuffet, so that's 40. Alright, right now I cannot play my abilities, so I simply need to use advantage of my Lysandre. Of course I'm gonna do that. And tell you what, since Shaymin can Sky Return, I'm gonna just focus his Wobbuffet with 2 damage counters, of course, because he had 110. And of course that Shaymin, because I really wants to knock him out. Since I already used my Hall of Hunt, that's gonna be it. So I'm hoping for the best, which is a Double Course Energy top deck. And with that Double Course Energy, I can Nax out his Giratina, I can Nax out his Wobbuffet, I can Nax out his Shaymin, any of Pokemons he actually decides to promote in the anti-spot. Of course, if he can't retreat Giratina, next turn Shaymin is going to be knocked out. Maybe also Giratina is going to be knocked out, so in theory next turn I can pull like 4 prize cards, which is very broken, but there is a Double Course Energy. And another Phantom. And another one. Okay. So far, so good, because if he decides to put Item Lock in the front, I'm more than happy to see that. No, he decides to go with Wobbuffet, which means still I can use my V-Seeker, still I can get another Lysandre, so it's gonna depend on the top deck right now, what I'm gonna get. Nothing special. Nothing special. Yeah, it's definitely time to switch down to my Seismitoad. And that's gonna be one Quaking Punch. That's gonna be one Quaking Punch. Next turn I can use my Xerosic and discard his Mystery Energy. Only 9 more cards left for me. Only 9 more cards left. So there's AZ. Okay, he decides to scoop Shaymin, but no, stop. You can't set up Shaymin. You simply first need to switch your... No way! You should first switch Wobbuffet for free to Phantom, set up Shaymin. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes it happens, and you can't do too much. Let's go with another Quaking Punch. Another Quaking Punch. Psychic Assault, it's gonna be 80 damage next turn. So I'm gonna survive one more turn. And my top deck is Trainers Mail, and Trainers Mail is a V-Seeker, of course, and V-Seeker is gonna be for that Lysandre. And right now I'm taking first knockout against his Wobbuffet, and then of course knockout against his Phantom. And plus, I can also item lock him with my Quaking Punch.
But the most important thing is that he can't max out my Seismitoad at his turn. That's the most important thing. So there we go, Forest of the Giant Plant. So Phantom is promoted in the front. Best thing he can do is use Ascension for free, of course. I can go for 30 plus 60. Alright, so first I'm gonna play my Forest of the Giant Plant. Then I'm gonna use couple feather arrows down to Jirachi. Alright, that's 6 in total. After that, one Hex Maniac. After that, one Ultra Ball, just to clear some cards from my hand. Alright. Then we Seeker for Lysandre. And simply Quaking Punch. So, after that Quaking Punch happened, he can try to get Trevenant Break, use Tree Slam, max out my Seismitoad. There we go. So he's gonna be Wally for Trevenant Break, so he can max out my Seismitoad. No energy. No energy, no party. Well, if that's the case, let's just max out his Jirachi on the bench and grab 2 prize cards. Alright, so 2 more. Another Quaking Punch. So that means he have 8 damage counters, and basically next turn I can put 6, but I can also just Juniper for 7 and get double course energy and max out his Trevenant for my last prize. So yeah, he decides to quit. Okay, so Hoopa-EX set up for my opponent. 2 Rayquazas and 1 Shaymin-EX. Mega Rayquaza, of course, is going to be hard to play against it, especially with 240 for 1 hit knocked against my Seismitoad. So yeah, basically with the Seismitoad, I can't do too many damage counters. I can just strike for 40, add 2 more damage counters per turn with my Decidueye, so nothing really special. Not the highest amount of damage counters that you can actually get, especially when you need to trade 2 prize cards like a Seismitoad, for example, versus one with a Trevenant Break. So in that situation, Trevenant is much more better. But still, Seismitoad, as it is, long heavyweight champ, if you ask me. So far, my opponent managed to put... Okay, there is Venona, so you can search his deck for up to 3 more white Pokemons and put him in his hand. So he decides just to grab 1 Mega Rayquaza. Will it be just Mega Evolution at his turn 1? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. Alright, so 1 Water Energy and 1 Mega Ray. So first Level Ball. Then 1 Battle Compressor to discard a couple more resources, like 1 Decidueye, 1 Dartrix. I can also discard something like a Hex Maniac. Then I'm gonna Ultra Ball. There we go. So Ultra Ball is gonna be, of course, for Shaymin and setup. Before I go with the setup, let's just go with a Battle Compressor and discard a couple more supporter cards like a AZ, like Olympia, like a Centaur Lady. Actually, maybe just better Xerosic. So I can discard Special Energy or Tool. but in this case it's gonna be just a special energy. So first setup for 5. There we go, another Rowlet, another Seismitoad, and just Juniper for 7. Alright, so I'm still searching for the Stadium, I'm still searching for a double Course energy, so I managed to get it. There we go with the Trainers Mail, maybe for Revitalizer, nope, just for a Professor Juniper. So of course I'm gonna use Ultra Ball to discard Professor Juniper here in order to get... let me see. Do I want to take a risk? Yeah, I actually want to take a risk. Discarding one more Seismitoad in my discard pile, so Ultra Ball will be for Shaymin, and this is going to be pure setup for 6. So if I miss Revitalizer and Stadium, I'm going to be in big problems here. But if I hit 2 Revitalizers and Stadium, then I'm fine. So far, nothing. Trainer's Mail just for the Forest of the Giant Plant. Do I want to even play Forest of the Giant Plant at this turn? I don't know. Somehow I don't want to do that. So just a Quaking Punch for 40, and this is the worst possible start I could get. So 2 Decidueye, 1 Dartrix in my discard pile, no Revitalizer. I only managed to pull Stadium, but of course I want to counter my opponent's Stadium. So far, I'm just gonna keep my Forest of the Giant Plant in my hand. Of course, he's not gonna be able to switch this turn his Manaphy. There we go, just another Mega Rayquaza. And finally, something good for me. Finally, something good, Revitalizer top deck. Of course, I'm gonna play that Revitalizer. There we go, 1 Decidueye, so I should put a couple damage counters down to his Mega Ray. I could go better for Shaymin, but for now, let's just keep it on this way. 1M. I want to keep that Lysandre, maybe also find another Forest of the Giant Plant, but nope, I can't find another Forest of the Giant Plant. So that's gonna be a Quaking Punch. Not the Forest of the Giant Plant, but the Revitalizer. Completely wrong. Alright. So, a Water Energy, finally. So, looks like he's gonna switch down to Mega Ray. And looks like he's gonna pass the turn. Oh, there's a Lysandre. Down to my Decidueye. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. So, should I switch back? First one Feather Arrow, then I'm gonna treat back to my Seismitoad with the double Course energy, and I'm gonna use Quaking Punch. I'm gonna use Quaking Punch simply because he still needs to get 3 more Pokémon on his bench in order to even one-hit knock at my Seismitoad. If he misses, he can go for 150. Is it worth to play my Centaur Lady? Well, to be honest, it's not. To be honest, it's not. But I managed to get something great like a VS Seeker. Unfortunately, no Lysandre. Oh, there is Lysandre in my discard pile. Let's first put 2 damage counters on that Manaphy. Let's go with the VS Seeker. Let it be for AZ. Yep, it's gonna be for AZ. And another round of the Quaking Punch is gonna happen. Alright, so 40 more damage counters. Next turn, I can knock out his Manaphy. And I can almost knock out that Mega Rayquaza. Of course, I will need Lysandre somehow to Lysandre. Maybe he is Hoop on the bench. There is a double Course Energy number 2 attached to the Mega Rayquaza number 2 and 1 Emerald Break for 150. Speaking about 150, I managed to top deck Lysandre, so this is gonna be huge. This is gonna be huge. Alright, so two cards from the prize cards for me. Still no Revitalizer for me for the second Decidueye, but it's gonna be a Quaking Punch. and it's gonna be 40 damage to Hoopa. And I'm gonna need to find another Decidueye so I can have 4 damage counters per turn to his Mega Rayquaza on the bench. Can he get... Oh, so he definitely searching right now his deck for another double Course Energy so he can switch and knocks out my Seismitoad, which is gonna be big deal for my opponent. But if he missed that, I'm gonna play Centaur Lady and tries to heal my damage counters from my Seismitoad. Or even better, what I can do in this situation is simply force my opponent to not be able to switch that Hoopa from the active spot. There we go. So another Quaking Punch. If he wants to switch, well, there is no way that he can actually then attack, because he can't play item cards, and yeah, I need a couple more turns to knock out that Rayquaza on the bench, and of course to knock out his Hoopa. Alright, so right now I can't play my Stadium, but what I can do is I can play my Centaur Lady, heal 6 damage counters from that Seismitoad, play Feather Arrow, put 2 damage counters to Mega Ray, and attack with the Quaking Punch for 40 his Hoopa. So 160 and 120. None of these two Pokemons are going to be knocked out, but there is one Professor Sycamore for 7 for my opponent. Let's see if he can somehow escape with the Hoopa from the active spot. This turn he's not going to be able to escape, that's for sure. But the question is, can he maybe escape next turn? Have very important be a Seeker in my hand. No, he decides to quit. So as you can see, very powerful item lock Seismitoad with the Decidueye can be definitely a problem in expanded format, but this deck is just built for fun, so it's still not built, in my opinion, to be competitive, because I think that Seismitoad need more damage counters like Hypnotoxic Lasers. Seismitoad can also benefit with from the Crushing Hammers and Enhanced Hammers and Teamflare Grunt. None of these cards I actually play, only one Xerosic that can actually scrap either way Tool or Special Energy. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Let me know what you think about this deck. Let me know if you have something similar to this deck list that you would like to share with me. I would really like to see some other deck lists with the Decidueye and Seismitoad, because I think it's pretty cool to play in expanded format. So have a nice day till the next time. See you in the next video, and goodbye.